Angie Martinez in Real Life Podcast. This episode and conversation is powered by Duce. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
It's the best.
Hector Lavoe got me through, I ran a marathon a few years ago. I thought I was going to die. I thought in no way can I finish it.
But you did it.
And I finished it.
Okay.
Yeah. And his music definitely, because it's a spirit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What does that song do to you? What is that? Besides that, you want it at your funeral, which is so weird.
It's not
It's not weird. No, it's actually
I mean,
not
it
weird.
depends. It depends how you see life. But the cantante Hector Lavoe, he really speaks for the world, and for the humans. It's not just about the artists. It's about that we all have. Sometimes people see success and they think that life is perfect, right? And it depends what you think is success, right? People think that success is like have money and be famous. And to me, it's not success because I have lived what they say is success, but it's not. To me, it's how you balance your life, how you with your people, how you with your friends, how you on your spiritual level or religious level. Respect that. To me, being successful is like the whole package. It's not just about one thing. So this guy, the master Hector Lavoe, he talk about you see that I'm doing great, that I have all these women's and I have people pay to see me.
And I'll do it.
But they don't even ask about how I feel. And they don't ask about if I'm dying inside or not. So on the way, when I was growing up as an artist, I just listened to that song. I was like, why is he saying this? And they understood. And I was like, he was so right. He was talking really facts about how an artist can feel. But not even an artist, just life in general.
Humans, right?
Yeah,
Human
absolutely.
experience. Do people not ask you how you are often enough?
Like if they really care about how I'm feeling?
Yeah.
I just learned lately, like let's say like a year ago and 2 years ago, that I gotta keep, my circle really tight. I thought that the world was so beautiful and colorful because I was raised with an amazing family and amazing friends, of course with mistakes and everything, but I never saw evil. I never saw that part that it's people that don't want you to do good, And since then, I started like closing a little bit my heart, not being cold. And I know there's just a few people that really ask me, how do I feel as a human? Like how are you? How you really are? Just don't say it because it makes fun. Hey, how are you? No, like really, you want to take a seat and be like, how am I feeling? And I'm gonna let you know if you're my closest people, of course.
Well, the good news is that's all I care about.
I know, but this is different today.
This is a different conversation.
This is a different one today.
Because that is literally all I care about. Now, granted, I'm a fan. I think what you have done in your career and how you have opened, reggae, not just reggaeton, but just Latin music in general up to the world, and watching what you've done globally, all of those things.
Thank
with
you.
Brands, you have all these records, the first Latino to do this, and all of that is wow, inspiring, and yes to all of that.
It is.
But also what's fascinating to me is watching this entity that you are and then meeting you in person. I don't know if you remember when we met the first time.
It was in the radio station, no?
No, it was it was an event for some Latin magazine, Latin women.
Yes,
thing.
yes, absolutely. I remember when in the rooftop, kind of a rooftop. It was
So we met, and
Yes.
I had known of you and everything you had been doing. I was like, wow, he's amazing. And my mother, who never asked me for anything, I took her with me to that event, and my mother said, I would really like to meet him. I was like, oh my God, it's so weird. So I was like, do you mind saying hello? And not only did you say hello to her, but you sat with her and you talked to her and you laughed with her and you kissed her on the forehead and you took all these amazing, and I just thought, what a beautiful human being. Like,
Thank you.
and it was so genuine, and I watched you in the room. And so I firsthand got to see you, how you are and your interaction with people. And then over the years, I've watched your career and I've seen you move. And so the human being that you have to be at the level that you are and still have that humbleness and that, like, tell me if I'm wrong, you're almost like a people pleaser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, it's not a small thing. When people have an experience of fame and success, you have all this access, which usually creates like ego or, people who take things for granted, and you don't seem to have
I don't.
been affected by those things.
I don't. Maybe you get affected, but you don't let it out. You know, like it's your struggle, it's your battle with your own self.
Yeah.
You know, it's like sometimes I have to battle with my ego. Yeah,
Oh,
but,
really?
Yeah, but you know, like I don't let it out. You know, I'm not with the people and be like screaming or something. I'm just like, these thoughts start like around my mind. I'm like, no, wait. This is, you know, it's your mind playing with you. You know, and the more you live it, the more you learn. You start watching like the simple things are the most amazing things, right? Like being healthy. You know, things that we didn't like when I was growing up. I never thought about, I want to be healthy.
Right.
No, I was like, I want to, you know, be a big artist and have money and fame and whatever.
Right.
And then you see that that's cool, absolutely cool. But being healthy, have mental peace, inner peace, it's everything. You know, I was really raised like my mom was really nice to me. She's really nice to me. And she was being super real.
Such a nice thing to say about your mom.
Yeah,
she was nice to me.
Yeah, she was, and she's been so real since day one, you know. And she always, when I was a kid, she knew I was going to be an artist. I didn't even know I was going to be an artist. She was like, "You're going to be an artist one day. You're going to be worldwide, globally." No, and I'm like, "Mom, what are you talking about?" Like, let me go just to school and have fun.
Yeah.
And one day she said, like, the day you think you're a star, you're going to stop shining for me. That really hit me. Like, oh my God, like, so I cannot acknowledge this, you know. Sometimes you have those moments. What I'm going through right now is like, am I the artist or who am I? You know, like, who am I? Like,
Balvin versus Jose.
Exactly. And sometimes people just don't get it, like,
I get it.
this isn't that. But it's honestly, we're the same person, of course, but you get so caught up in work. And that's what I like right now. I'm going through that. To just like how kind of start, you know, balance, not put all my energy and all my passion in just one thing, which is in my nature. But what about family? What about health?
You're a dad now.
I'm a dad now, you know, and I'm learning. He's only 1 year and a month, you know, so getting to know those new phases of my life, I'm just learning, honestly. I'm just learning.
Isn't it fascinating how you think when you're young, you don't realize that the learning thing happens for your whole life. It doesn't ever end.
Yeah, you just learn every day. I remember when I met Pharrell Williams, one day he said, like, I am, and I'll be forever a student. And I was like, wow, you're right. Like, and yeah, the more you live, the more you learn. You know, if you open to learn.
Yeah.
And even though sometimes we learn and we unlearn and we learn again and we fuck it up again. And even like, now this time when I make it better, and then you fuck it up way bigger than it used to.
Yeah.
But as long as you're conscious that you know what's going on in your mind, it's gonna be a way to fix it.
So this section of my podcast, this chapter of my podcast is like based around what I like to call superpowers, right? So I think everybody has. I was just talking about Jay-Z the other day with somebody, with Joe Button. We were talking about Jay-Z, and some people could say, "Oh, he raps better than anybody else. That's his superpower." But some people would be like, "That has nothing."
I think that's not his superpower.
What would you, if we're talking about someone else?
That's not Jay-Z's superpower.
What is it?
His superpower is to inspire the world. It goes beyond music, and I think that's the beautiful thing about Jay-Z, and that's why every time I talk to him, I'm always just like, "Tell me." You know,
and soaking it up?
I'm just soaking it up like sponge, you know, like you tell me, you know, like you've been here, you've been there. How does it feel when you go, like, how did it feel when you went through this? And I think that's his, it's one of his tools, but his superpower it's the mentality. You know, I think his rap he's one of the best rappers ever. Absolutely. I'm his biggest fan, number one fan. But his superpower, I think, is really how you encourage your people to dream bigger and to be like, if I come from this and I'm doing this, you also can do it. So me as Latino, you know, I feel the same responsibility. So when I think about Jay-Z, like, I want to be Jay-Z, but from the Latino world, just like empower and go more beyond the music, how you touch culture, how you can make business that you can help your community, how you can make people feel proud of who we are. And that's something that in the United States, we're a minority. I didn't know they call us brown.
Are we though?
I didn't know. I didn't know they call us brown until I started living here. It was funny to me because I'm in Colombia, grew up in Colombia, and we're just, Latinos.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. It's not like, oh, you're brown. No, we're the same, right? Yeah. So when I got here, like the brown and the black community were like, what's up? But okay.
But brown and black is the same. And
at the end, of course, we're the same.
You're all Latino, right?
It's the same.
Yeah.
So that really hits me. I was like, wait, they're like putting us like in another part. And I'm like, we're not. We're global citizens, period. And we make part of the humanity. So, and by the way, we all come from Africa.
Right.
So even if you want to hate it, there's no way you can, it's scientifically proved. So that's when I say about Jay-Z is that he opened my eyes how you can go beyond. His superpower to me is inspire the world. Rap is just one of the sparklings that he has.
Yeah. I want to know what yours are. I want to talk about what yours are today. But can I tell you what I think they are? And I got to imagine them just as a guess. You could tell me if I'm wrong.
Let me see. Johnny. Oh, my boy's not here. I wanted to know if you were right with superpowers.
He's right there. Johnny, tell me if I'm right.
Johnny, when she said the superpowers, you can say like,
Yeah, you tell me if I'm right.
With
I'm trying to figure out what his superpowers. Right? I'm trying to guess his. Number one, I think he is extremely disciplined.
More than discipline.
More than discipline.
Yeah.
That's a good one?
Yes.
Can I tell you what I based it on?
What?
Well, number one, you were determined to have this career, even at a young age. Even when people tried to say no.
So many times.
So many times. The way you have attacked your mental health. And just the career, the length, and to me, I feel like you couldn't have done those things without discipline.
You're
right?
definitely right.
So when were you? Is that something that you were aware of, or?
Yes, I'm super aware of.
Yeah.
Discipline has, it's the reason why I'm here. One of the reasons why I'm here. And resiliencia. Like
resilience.
Yeah, resilience also. That's a good power.
That's your power? That's one of yours?
I think it's a good power.
I think that's one of yours.
Yeah. And sometimes discipline is like do things that you don't want to do, but it's good for you.
Like what? Tell me one thing.
Like sometimes it's like get up early in the morning, do exercise. And like sometimes you're like 5, 6 in the morning.
But you do it.
And I'm like, no, I'm gonna have to, because it's good for me. Even though, sometimes you feel like it's tomorrow, it's too early. Like I wake up at 5 or 6 and I go and get a cold plunge. The first thing I do. Yes, you see that? And I know that
sounds terrible.
It is terrible, but it's good for you.
Yeah. So
so I do that. And then
you never get lazy?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, but I have to
you do it anyway.
Overcome that. I have to be like, this is good for me.
I wish I envy that. I wish I had more of that.
It's like good and bad sometimes.
Why? How can it be bad?
Because because you have like I'm basically like OCD, like so like let's say I slept 4 hours and I want to go to the gym. Like now you have to sleep. I'm like, no, but I want to go to the gym. It's good for me.
Yeah.
But you haven't rest. So sometimes you start fighting with the discipline because you're like, I have to do this. But we don't have to. But I do it. So sometimes it's like giving a course.
I respect it. I can't do it. I have an idea, like I know I need to do it. I do it for 2 days. I'll be like, forget about that. Forget about that. Unless I really love it.
Absolutely.
Then, if I really love it, but that to me is not discipline. That's just kind of doing what you love. What do you think? What are some of the other ones that that you could tap into that's giving you this life? Not just your career, but like your life. What is your superpower?
I have one superpower. This is I give really great advices.
Really?
But I am really bad sometimes on apply it for myself.
Uh-huh.
It's just crazy, right? Because I have received a lot of calls from my friends like, oh, what should I do with this? How I fix this? How can I get here? How can I talk with these people? How can I get in this? Like I love to help people. You know, it's like it's in my nature, you know, and I feel like when they tell me like I have this problem, I'm just like get excited, you know, like let me see how I fix this, you know. And
You're a
start,
problem
like,
solver.
yeah, like I'm like make the phone call and give me like the rush, you know, like when you do business also, like you back and forth. I'm happy when I fix things, you know, and I'm happy to fix things, and I'm happy to give great advices, even though sometimes I don't apply it for myself.
Does he give you good advice?
Sometimes.
It's a real one.
More on ones he does.
It's a real one.
Do you think those things play into why you're so successful as an artist? Discipline and like, what would you call that? Like problem solving?
Yes, but there's also another one that we call in Medellin perraquera, which is how like your hustler mentality, you know, and that was really helped me a lot because I was independent and didn't have no idea how I was going to make it because we didn't have no reggaeton artist from Colombia that, you know, has opened the door to be like, okay, this is the path. This is the you know, someone that paved the way for us in Colombia. We didn't. We had Daddy Yankee in Puerto Rico, you know, but he wasn't in our country and there was no one. So I had to figure it out how to pave my own way, you know. So that's, you know, the mentality, the hustle mentality. I want to be like, okay, how I'm going to create this, how I'm going to start like conquering, going from this city to this city, how the radio works, how the distribution works, how I was my own manager, I was my own PR, I was everything, you know. Like people used to call and I'd be like, hey, you're talking with Jose. This is J Balvin's manager. You know, I mean, like, okay, so, you know, we need the show for this. And like, okay, let me talk to Jay. I'll give you a call back. And I'm like,
so you also like crazy.
yeah. And then I was like, hey, I just talked to Jay, you know, yeah, he's ready to do the show, you know, just let's book the tickets and do everything. Oh, thank you, Jose. I appreciate you so good. And then, yeah, we did it, you know, but yeah, it was.
So so discipline, hustler mentality.
Yeah.
And what
and the good advices.
And good advice.
Yeah. Or fixer.
Or fixer.
Yeah.
Have you ever missed your mark on those? Like, have you? Probably, huh?
Yes, because sometimes you want to help people that they don't want help. You know, like sometimes we see people that are like, yo, if this guy do this, he's just gonna kill it. And then you go like, yo, you know, sometimes you think that people think the same way we do. Yeah. Right?
Well, that they're open to your advice.
That way they should ask, right? Because they say like the master comes when the student is ready, right? I'm not saying I'm not a master, but when I'm looking for something, my teachers, my master will be like, okay, tell me what you want.
Do you have a moment that you're like most proud of that you helped somebody kind of, or something that comes to mind?
There's a lot, but I just cannot say it because a lot of them are public artists already, really successful. But I took my homework to be like, you know what? Let's go. Let's do this. I know you're gonna get there, and they're already in the amazing places.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to take credit.
Nah, they know it, and I think the industry know it. And I did it with my heart. You know, I didn't even think about a business side. It was just like, you know, maybe because it's not even maybe. It's true. It's because when I was on my way, you know, building my career, I didn't have no one to guide me. You know, to be like. Because we didn't have a reggaeton artist in our country. So I felt like, man, I wish like if Daddy Yankee was from here, I'll be like so close to just asking my list, you know, like what should I do? You know? And I didn't. So I'm not saying that I'm Daddy Yankee, but I have lived, you know, beautiful moments in building the Latino gang, how we say, you know, that I want to make it easier for people, you know. Maybe what takes 10 years, you know, help them with 5 if they're open. Some of them are really open and they did it. But some of them, you think that they think the same way you are and they're not. And some of them think you think they have the same codes, like being grateful. To me, being grateful and loyal is the most important thing in life. To me. It doesn't mean that it have to be for them. You get me? So
I
sometimes that's
totally
why
do.
sometimes we get so upset that you're like, oh man, like I did it with love, but sometimes you gotta accept that you want that love back. And that's sad. It
Yeah.
really makes me sad. And
It's
sometimes people are
disappointing.
like, don't take it too personal. Like, no, but if I did it with my heart. I wasn't even thinking about business. I was
Yeah.
thinking about how can I help this person. And you never had thank you, and you never had like. So it's weird because it's that battle between your ego. Sometimes they're like, man, I help in this, like.
But if your ego wasn't involved, you wouldn't care if
But when you
they were
put the
grateful or
heart
not.
on it,
Yeah.
because I put heart on it, and that's when you're like,
I feel like you put heart on everything.
on everything,
Yeah.
So that is a gift and a curse because I'm really passionate.
Yeah. Who are you most grateful to?
Oof. Wow. My mom is my first mentor. She's my first mentor because she always made me believe that we are the same. So she was like, I know one day you're going to be with presidents and you're going to be with your, with your favorite artists in the world. Don't ever forget that they're just like us. So never get into a place thinking that you're less. You guys have the same situations, even though because they have more money and more fame, it doesn't mean that they go through the same things. They go home, they might have the problems. They might sometimes sleep in the sofa because the wife is mad at them.
Is this the things your mother said? Your mother is amazing.
No, she's real,
Yeah.
and I've
She's
been
the realist.
and I've been in those moments that I'm in the sofa, and I'm like, my mom was right. Like, yeah. So my mom is definitely one of my biggest mentors. But through life, like it's like say like every level that you start getting like to unlock, there's always someone to help you to unlock it, right? So when I was like learning about radio, I met a guy, which is one of my he's my mentor in radio. His name is Chula. So it was like the one who taught me, okay, this is the way you want to learn this, and then I wanted to just like, how can I get to Venezuela, to how can I go to Peru, to Brazil, to different countries, and I have more mentors that be like, okay, you should do this, you should do that. Then I have a spiritual mentor, Ramiro, that helps me a lot.
What's his name?
Ramiro.
Is he the one that we saw in the doc?
Yes,
with you?
he's there. He taught me a lot about, spirituality, and that's how like now I'm learning from J Brown, like I'm like
Business.
everything. I just want to soak it up, I just want to learn from the people that I really admire.
Yeah.
Also when with Scooter Brown, when we started working, like I learned a lot, and but they don't have to be successful. I have learned a lot of people from people in the streets that just tell me one thing. I'm like, how they know I need these words at this exactly moment? It can be a homeless and just talk to me and be like, yo, I don't know. That's weird to me. That happened to me. That people in the street randomly.
Did that a real
yeah,
thing?
one day I was having a really bad day and just a guy came to me and was like, you know what? Everything's going to be okay. Wait, it will pass. And then he left. And I'm like,
Isn't that weird?
super weird. And we're like, is that an angel? Or
Do you believe in that?
I believe in energy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I believe in energy. I grew up religious, really Catholic, but I believe more in energy. I believe more, in the good vibes and the love,
We did I was telling you I did that marathon. I was right at the end. I had like a mile left. I had done 25 miles already. And I could visualize in my body going to the floor. I literally I thought I was going to pass out, right? And I was literally going to go, I could see like my body falling to the floor. And the lady in the crowd, older lady, she didn't know me, nothing. She was like, don't do it. You're almost there. You're going to finish it. And it was it was like she could see in my soul. I don't know. She just popped up out of nowhere. And then and she got me, then she pushed me through and then I just finished the rest. But the moment when people like that show up, is like it's powerful.
I told you.
Yeah.
This is-
It happens to you often? Because it doesn't happen to me often, but
No,
it has happened a few times.
lately, it's happening more often than I used to. You know, it's always someone like, yo, do this. Hey,
Like what? Tell me
take care
what.
of this. You know, sometimes we just start like,
You know, now people are gonna see this and they're gonna come up to you all the time. And be
it's
like,
so good.
the color is blue.
No, but that's a funny one because I was like in Colombia a long time ago, just an old lady. She looks like from Game of Thrones back in the day.
Not Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and she was like, "There's a girl that doesn't want you to be successful," and I'm like, "Are you gonna make it?" And I'm like, "Okay, thank you so much." So she left, and then like, "Who's that girl?" But maybe if you really take that and you put that in your mind, you might think that it's really something going on.
Yeah. Or
Right.
she could have just been a little wacky.
It depends. That's is
She
what
could
you
have been
do.
on that juice.
That's what I said. That's what you do. Is what you do with the information, right? So I was like, I'm not gonna take this person, but I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that. You're gonna pass.
Okay, you take that part of
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
I always take the positive things.
Yeah.
The negative, I'm like, even though sometimes they start like.
What's the best thing that you've taken from your spiritual advisor? I don't know. What's the best thing do you think that he's...
And lately I've been having more spiritual mentors, you know, like, because this is one special thing that I just learned. Sometimes you think your mentors are perfect. And when you start watching their mistakes, you're like, but he's another human being just like me.
Mm-hmm.
He's just great at this. But it doesn't mean that they have mistakes and they're commit.
Mm-hmm. They're not God.
They're not. And that was something that I just learned because I used to just like idolize them,
Yeah.
right? And you'd be like, yeah, no, whatever they say is the right thing. Until you start like open your eyes and be like, I don't have to do exactly what I said in this because if I don't feel it, why I have to do it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so speaking of mentors, that's what I've been learning lately. You know, that like, okay, you could be a great mentor at this, but it doesn't mean that you're perfect. It doesn't mean that you commit mistakes. It doesn't mean that you give me a great advice and then you fuck it up outside.
Right. And also their path is different than your path.
Exactly.
And purpose.
Exactly. But there's a lot of one that Ramiro told me one day was like, it's not. Sometimes you think why things happen for you, happens to you, and it's better to think that it's not por qué, sino para qué. It's like for what.
What is the purpose?
Yeah. What is the purpose? Now, why is happening to me? For what is this happening to you? You know, and that really helps me. You know, to be like, okay, it's not why, it's what for. You know, what you have to learn from this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's things that I still remember about that, and then you forget about it. That's what I told you. Sometimes we're so stubborn. I'm really sometimes. I'm really stubborn.
Always.
That could be a superpower or super weakness. because you were like, I want to get this and I want to get there.
That's funny.
But then if it comes the other way around, that you just like want to go against you, it's going to be so hard. They hit you harder than anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Can we, if we're going to talk about one of your superpowers, which is like discipline, we think is one of your superpowers. Can you talk about how you use that in terms of like mental healing and spiritual work? Because you seem very disciplined about even that.
Yeah.
Right? Like I saw you meditate.
Yes.
Every day?
Yeah.
Yeah, every day. What else?
I do. Sometimes I don't. Because that's what I'm saying. So, even it's great for you, sometimes you just, for some reason, maybe sometimes you start feeling that you're so good, that you're feeling great. You're like, I don't need this. I feel great. And then when the energy goes down, you're like, I miss this. Yeah. So last week I put an alarm to meditate 3 times a day. It was okay, I have to go and do it. Meditation definitely has saved my life because I don't do any drugs.
You don't drink? Nothing.
I just drink on Sundays and I get really wasted.
Sundays?
But that's new. That's like
You just started drinking now?
It's funny.
That's so random.
It is funny. I never was a drinking person. I'm not.
But
Just
lately,
Sundays.
what do you drink now on
Oh
Sundays?
no, I drink champagne, whatever comes.
Or whatever you want.
Whatever people want to give me, I will drink that.
And how is that going for you?
Amazing. I'm always waiting for Sunday. I'm like, I can't wait for Sunday.
So why do you pick Sunday? Why is that the one day a week?
Because through my trainer and my diet, we have cheat day
Got it.
on Sunday.
Cheat day.
So like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna really cheat on it.
I wondered why you didn't drink. I wondered if that was like a mental health thing, if it was that a weight thing, if
I
that
didn't.
alcoholism in the family.
I grew up. My grandfather was basically drinking all the time, but there was more like a culture Latino thing, you know.
Yeah, that's what we say.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He was drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, alcoholic.
Right.
You're right. You definitely, if you're drinking every day, you have an alcohol problem. Peter.
Yes.
You're right. But he wasn't
He wasn't an angry.
a bad example. You know, but the guy's always drunk and like tipsy and thing, but you know, he never hurt nobody. Just hurt himself, of course.
Yeah.
But I was like, if I'm gonna do what I want to do, I need to be focused. You know, and because I was watching a lot of reggaetoneros going crazy with drugs and rappers also, because I'm a huge fan of hip hop, culture. I'm like, this guy is going kind of crazy, and I think that is not going to help them to get to where they are. So I was like, no, I'm not going to drink, and I'm not going to do any drug. And I was going to be focused in my dream, in my career. And that really has a lot to do with my success, because I was like, no drugs. I tried them, of course, just weed.
That's it?
That's it. Exactly. You see, like,
that's nothing. That's from the earth.
That's what I'm saying.
How did it affect you?
Because I love to have control, and I have bad trips when I smoke weed. Like
paranoid?
Paranoid, but crazy.
Like what? Tell me
No,
one story.
like running away,
one.
like I was with Ed Sheeran. We were recording together, and some of our friends were smoking, and I was like, I wish Ed Sheeran here, man.
Let's make it a moment.
He wasn't smoking, but I was like, let's make it a moment. We're doing a lot of great music here together. Let's smoke. And then start smoking, and then start feeling my heart. And then I look around, and I know that I'm pale. I knew I was pale. I knew I was pale, but I was like, I don't want no one to fucking reassure that I'm pale.
Yeah.
So I looked to the left, and then my sound engineer and great friend was like, "You're fucking pale. You're pale. You white that like."
What's going on in your head? Not good.
When he said that, I was like, guys, I have to leave, and I started running.
How much weed did you smoke?
I don't know, but I would just, I don't know. And then a lot of my friends there, they smoke weed, so we're like, yo, just drink water. Come on, just drink water. So one of my closest friends, Bash, he came with me outside. He was like, let it breathe, let it flow, enjoy. I'm like, I'm not enjoying this shit. Just like, this is not fun. And all my friends were like, yo, chill, bro, just flow. And I'm not flowing this, bro. Like, and it was like, I'm gonna have a panic attack right now. I was like, drink water. Yeah, drink a lot of water. You should drink milk. And like, I heard that shit doesn't work. And then it was.
Did Ed Sheeran see any of this?
Yeah, he saw me running. And then I saw him on the other day. He saw me running, like, hey, yo, I gotta live. Yes, and then I told him what happened with my back trip. And because the drugs, the thing, I grew up, one of my uncles was really a drug addict. So I saw the suffer of all my family. Like I was like 14 years old looking for my uncle in the hoods, be like, where's my uncle? And I found him in the streets, he, like with 10 stabs, he got stabbed 10 times. Him? Yeah, and then
how old were you?
I was like 14.
Jesus.
And then like 2 years after that, he got shot in his head like 5 times. And I was the one who gonna be like, okay, mom, I'm gonna go and pick him up, or like, let's do it. So I saw that, and I was like, I don't want to go there.
I get that.
Yeah, I don't want to go there. So I live that by example. Like, so that's the reason why I don't do drugs.
Yeah. Some people use that as an example. Some people, then they're influenced by that and then they go down that road.
Yes.
Which is, so it's,
Yeah.
It's probably to do with your superpower discipline.
Yes.
It keeps you away from all the bad things.
Absolutely.
God bless, man.
Amen.
Wow. So how has being a dad changed you? Like, how are you different now?
I'm starting learning that, that you don't have to be. I mean, I never had a baby, so I don't know how it works.
Right? It's kind of
right?
crazy. People don't prepare you. There's no way to prepare.
There's no way. So
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I have a baby. I have a baby.
A person.
Yeah, I have a person, and you start being less selfish. Because before you would just like focus on your, in yourself and your family, but not in another human being. And you gotta be conscious that you cannot transfer your fears to your kids. So like I'm really.
Like what? What are your fears for him?
Because what I learned through my process is that a lot of our fears aren't our fears. They're transferred by our parents. Let's say when I was a kid, my dad used to talk that, being poor when you're old, this is the worst thing that could happen to anyone. He wasn't telling it to me. He wasn't telling me that. He was talking out loud in the house. So those fears started getting into my head. He didn't want to do that in myself. But he transferred those fears, being broke. So when I was 12, I was like, I gotta work.
I can't be broke.
Exactly. And then my mom, which she's been sick forever, she has a sickness called porphyria. So it's basically like a cancer in the blood. My mom has always been sick since I have memory. So she always is talking about death. She was always talking about death, not in front of me. Then she started talking in front of me. And then she transferred those fears to me about death. And so on and so on. It's not that they wanted to make your life bad, but now that I'm conscious that I can transfer those fears to my son, even if I have them, I'm just gonna keep them away until he's so conscious to be, you know what, this is what I suffer, but I don't want you to suffer from this.
Yeah.
I know it's not. It's easy to say.
It's easy to say.
Hard to apply.
Yeah.
Right.
It's easy to say.
Yeah.
It's generational, right? It's like generational trauma goes
It
on
is.
and on. But at least you're mindful of it. You'll do better. The goal.
I will do better, definitely.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm going to make it perfect.
No.
Of course. No,
You
because
won't. By the way, you for sure
they
you
let
won't.
it know that we're not. Yes, but I don't want my kid to have the same fears that I had, or that I have, because it's not fair. It's not fair when you know that you can do it.
Yeah.
At least those two, fear of death.
Well, your kid also doesn't, or fear of death, and what's the other one? And being broke.
Yeah.
Those are your two, like.
And then when I got COVID, then I started, the COVID almost killed me.
I know. What happened?
There was no vaccines and nothing like that, or my COVID was a different strain, but mine.
But what
almost
was
killed me.
happening? Like you couldn't breathe, or
Yeah, I was this close to go, to just like being disconnected basically. So
they had you on ventilator?
it was we're like, if this shit doesn't work now, we gotta go 2 days.
So what is going on in your mind?
And
when
after
you're...
and after that, I'm really scared of sickness, of die by sickness, because I never thought how does it, how it feels to be sick, and then I start having more empathy to my mom, para mi mamá, it was like, if I feel this, that it's been 3 months. It took me a year and a half to recover, by the way. My mom just had COVID, and she was...
That must have been terrifying.
Yeah, but my mom was in coma for 3 days. She lost her hair. She still got problems with memory. She had to learn how to walk. Yesterday, I called her on FaceTime, and she was with oxygen. I'm like, what happened with your... Nah, the oxygen went down again to 85. I'm like, and it's been more than 8 months since she got COVID.
That's tough.
It's super tough. So then she reminds my fear. Shit, and it's sad because I said, Mama, with all this sickness, and then you see her with this shit, and stuff,
It's
you know.
tough.
And that's what I told you, that the song El Cantante, it's so real, because people don't ask if you're suffering or not.
No.
They just they just want to see
People
the best of you, and you know, social media so
You seem so happy on social media
uh,
all the time.
if I feel it. If I don't, I don't do it because I'm being. I cannot go to bed and know that I'm
Fake.
faking myself.
Yeah. I don't think you fake. I think you choose the moments when you're feeling good and then you put it on social media. So people only see the
Yes,
highlight.
but
They see the highlights.
the thing, which we have a big discussion with one of my friends in the industry. He was like, one day you came out talking about mental health, that you were depressed. That took your superpowers away. And bro, I just listened, and I had the conversation with. There were like five guys from the industry. Like, you're fucking J Balvin. You cannot show weakness. And I was like, listen, bro, like, being depressed, because there's a lot of stigma about it, and I haven't felt depressed for like 2 years, thank God.
Wow, thank God.
Yeah, especially since my kid was born. I'm like, my chemicals in my brain have been amazing, even through all the stress that life comes with. And he was like, when I felt, because I didn't know what it feels to have panic attacks and anxiety and depression, I never knew about that. I wanted that was for crazy people until that happens to me. So when I knew how it feels, I was like, I gotta tell the world about how I'm feeling. I don't care. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even ask my team.
Really?
I just gotta go and say, listen, I'm going through this shit. Hey, you're going through this. You're not alone, and you're not the only one. This happened to me also. And we had this discussion, like, that was like 2 months ago. We're like, why you show weakness? What do you do it? And I'm like, man, I'm a human being. Like, yeah, but you should just keep it quiet with your family. And I was like, man, that was what I felt at that time. So now what I'm doing.
And then how do you save people? How do you?
That's the beautiful thing, because then when I start doing tours, a lot of people came to me with like, you know what, you saved my life. You talk about mental health. I wanted to commit suicide, and I didn't because of you. But they never, the people who hasn't suffered that, it's hard to understand that it's even more powerful than you are.
Yeah.
You can be the man. But if you get hit by that,
Takes you down.
exactly. Absolutely. I've been reading, I've been learning. I have my own app that we're gonna launch real soon.
Oh yeah, it's
it's about wellness. It's about wellness, but that includes how to try to avoid to get into depression and anxiety. But anyway, there's a chemical disbalance that it just happens sometimes for no reason. It's like when someone got cancer. It's like some people do it, did something to get it. Like we're smoking a lot of cigarettes and then, or there's a lot of people that smoke cigarettes and never got cancer. And some people just got it by heritage.
Yeah.
I think mine was heritage. And so we're creating this app about wellness, and that's what I'm doing. How can I help the world even more? Not just talking about it, giving them tools also to how to feel better. The name of the app is called Oye, which means listen.
I love that.
And it's made by Latinos. There's a lot of Spanish speakers around the world that don't have the right information about how to feel better. So that's what I'm doing.
What do you think your purpose is while you're here?
Yeah. My purpose is to inspire the people to believe in themselves, even though sometimes you think you don't believe in yourself.
Do you still have doubts about yourself?
Yeah, sometimes I doubt myself. Sometimes it happens, at least to me, But then I recover again. I'm like the phoenix, like recover from the ashes, like, let's do it again. If I did it once, I do it twice, and third and fourth. But it's not easy. So I think one of my purpose definitely is, make people dream. that they can achieve it. You know, I'm not supposed to be here. You know, like I grew up listening to your song.
No.
The one. Oh shit.
If I could go?
Yes. So you know.
Are you kidding me? That's crazy.
Absolutely, you know. And I grew up, you know, knowing about you, you know, and I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm here, you know. And that was impossible to think way before. You know, it was impossible to think that a Latino can have their own Jordans. You know, it was impossible to think that you can be the number one most listened artist in the planet. You know, it was impossible to be Latino, be on the Super Bowl. All the things were impossible, but we made it possible. So I want people to dream big and to know that they can be whatever they want. And it's not about being artists or being famous or rich. No, it's about whatever you want to do, you can make it. You know?
Yeah,
so I think one of my biggest purpose in this world is make people dream and also make them feel that it's okay not to be okay sometimes.
That's the bar.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Inspire. I have a really personal thing with the Latino culture. I just want to.
You're so good at it. You really represent well.
Thank you.
You really represent well. I've heard you say many times that it's how important it is because your English is clearly, you can do anything. If you wanted to make an album in English, you could.
I don't know about that.
You don't? Yes, you can. There's artists that language not have it. Yeah.
But listen, what's crazy about that? And my dream was like, how can I cross over without doing something in English?
Yeah, no, I love that. I've heard you say that. I think that's really
that's
admirable.
Powerful, you know, and people were like, you're not gonna make that shit. I'm like, wait, you know.
Did you really believe, or you just were like?
No, yeah,
really?
I remember having an interview one day with Nicky Jam. It was a Billboard, and you know, this lady asked like, do you think one day it's gonna be a Hot 100 Spanish song with you guys in this genre? And I remember Nicky saying no. And I was like, yes. And then I Like It Like That with Cardi B and Bad Bunny, boom, hit the first number one, Hot 100. And I was like, I told you it was possible. You know, so it's about that, you know, it's about dream. It's about, you know, sometimes we think the doors are closed without even knock them.
You are really good at supporting people too, I see. Like you've said that before, but like even Cardi, I think that song was a turning point for her in terms of like globally.
That song was for us, you know, and it's not just for her, you know, like we put the love on it. I remember another thing about the song was we were in a meeting and I was like, listen, this is the single. I'm telling you guys, it was here in New York. We don't know. I'm telling you, this is the single. When the album drops, you will know where this is going. So they drop a single and they drop the album. And I like it. Was like,
yeah.
We need to make a video. I told you guys since day one, believe in me. You know, like I think I have that, like you're saying, like one of the superpowers. Like
vision.
Kind of see the future. Kind of see like, this can be built. You know, this is going to happen.
Is there another time have you done that?
I don't know, so many times. It's not even about music, you know, like with friends and with people like, but it's not that you have a magic in it. It's that you start learning how to read the acts, you know, the effect, the cause and effect situation in his life. You know, so you start like understanding like if he's acting like this, you're going to keep acting this way, he's going to get here. Yeah. So maybe you start like getting, you know, more like fast in the way to learn or to read people in moments.
Yeah. Or
maybe it's a superpower for you that I can see things that people don't see. A lot of people call me the brujo.
Why do they call you that?
Because like sometimes you're not gonna do it here anyway. Sometimes people are like, okay, let's close the eyes.
Come on, let's do it. I'll do it.
No, I don't. Not
I'll
because if I fuck it up, I fuck it up. So, but so many times I'm like, let's do it. My friends got here, like we close the eyes and they send me. I say like, okay, pick 3 colors, you know. And are you doing? You wanna do it right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, if I fuck it up, this is gonna.
If you fuck it up, don't worry.
No, but you have to write it down.
What?
The name.
The colors?
The color. No, just one color.
Oh, one color. Okay.
Oh, this shit doesn't work when I look so bad.
No, stop. Stop worrying about it.
It works.
Okay.
Let me see. So, amarillo, azul, or rojo, blue, yellow, or red. The thing.
Wait a minute.
Yellow. But I know that what you were thinking. But you were writing
Why do you know that?
because that's my fucking shit in my brain. But do you do it or no? Were you writing yellow?
Yeah, I just wrote Y. I didn't get to finish writing it because you said,
Okay.
look, there's a Y there for yellow.
So it's some shit going on in my brain that I don't even know what's happening.
That's weird.
It's super weird.
Do you pick the lottery numbers?
I wish. I wouldn't be here, trust me.
I want to play another game. What else can you predict? What
No,
else are you good at?
it's
Is
weird.
it really a thing? Could we try it with one other person? I want to see if this was just a fluke. Brittany, write a letter down.
No, come on. I
Come on,
cannot,
one more,
I cannot
one more.
go to that level. But I used to read I think I still do. And you're going to call me crazy. The aura, the colors of the aura,
Yeah.
with people, energy, the color. When I used to go to church. I used
Did
to
you
see-
really see yellow?
Yeah, I already told you. But
You
what I
said
see-
3 colors, but you started
No,
with yellow.
I'm saying I mean yellow in
Yeah,
the beginning
yeah.
because there was for energy. But what I'm saying is like when I used to go to church, I used to just be focused watching the priest. I used to see like colors. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm watching colors in this guy.
This is a superpower.
And then I start like looking at everyone and start looking different colors in every person.
Wow.
So like I can see the aura. I don't know, but I feel it. I see the aura of people, but
Is mine yellow?
no.
What is
But
it?
I don't know right now because that's the thing. You can get tricked by the light.
Okay.
So when I do it, like I go like to like a place without any light that can mess with this.
Yeah.
Because I could be seeing like white on you, reflection on
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
of the
yeah.
blue over there. And you see this is something I never talk about before.
Well, good. I like it.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
It's weird.
It's not weird. It's just unique.
Yeah.
It's unique is important. Because yellow is a color for me.
I know.
What color are you?
Huh.
What color are
I
you?
think we're chameleons. I think we change color every day.
Oh.
It depends of our mood. It depends of how we're feeling. You know, sometimes we feel like white. Sometimes you feel like blue. You know.
Today, what do you feel?
Today I'm kind of like green, like hope.
You have hope today?
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good
Yeah.
word.
Yeah, today I have green. Yeah.
What are you hopeful for? What does the future for you look like?
Oh. It's so many areas that I want to touch, that I want to, growing up. First is that, which has been really weird to me because I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Build an amazing family.
Mm-hmm.
There's no minus for that.
Mm-hmm.
Being one of the biggest, Latino artists, to make a huge statement in history of music, like be writing in the books, and be like JC one day in the entrepreneur side, and how to touch life and embrace your culture, and being a great person that I can help the world. That's really what I want to be. Which is, none of them are easy.
Just being happy is not easy.
I was asking them yesterday. I was asking, Johnny left already.
Johnny is over us.
Johnny's always left. He's never here. I was asking like, how happy are you?
Hi, Johnny.
See, did I ask you how happy were you yesterday?
Oh yeah, yes, sir.
Are you happy?
Well, from 1 to 10, how was?
8.
You were 8.
8? That's a good number from 1 to 10.
That's a great number.
Yeah,
But it's
what?
not obviously.
Not obviously.
It's not obviously. There's people that live in 1.
No, for me, you know me.
Yeah, but yeah, sometimes I ask people like, really, like, how are you? Are you happy? And I'm like, how happy are you from 1 to 10? And they're like, tell me. And they start, saying their things, how they feel. I feel 6 because I don't have this and that. And I'm like, but I have this and that. And I feel, and I'm in your same number.
Mm.
So that's how you start like the economy
Ooh.
of life, like what makes you happy.
Uh-huh. That's a good way to start. I might steal that for my podcast. I might ask people on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yes, how happy you are.
How happy are you
If they're real,
today?
I think it's really weird to see a 10. Kind of weird. How happy are you from 1 to 10?
Evan.
Right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right now.
That's a lot. You're having
Wow.
a great life.
He is generally a happy guy. His
Amazing.
energy is always up, bright. I don't know his personal dark moments, but what he projects is an 8.
How happy are you from 1 to 10 right now? 6.
6.
That's a real guy.
That's a real answer.
No, you're a real one too. You
No,
know, but
but
that's what
a
I'm saying.
6.
You know, like you sometimes you ask people how are you, but really are you asking how are you?
Let me think about what my number is
How
today.
happy are you today?
Today.
Yeah, don't think about past is past.
I'm gonna say a 7.
That's great.
I woke up I had a rough morning. I was
So you were like 5 in
so
the
I
morning.
started at a 5.
Yeah.
This is a great conversation. I'm happy to see you. It's good energy in here. So you lifted me up
Yeah.
a couple of notches. But it's not unhappy. It's just
Yeah, but what's the problem to say unhappy?
because I wasn't unhappy. I was just tired and like
You were unhappy. That's what you say.
I
If you're
wasn't
talking to be straight up, you've been straight up. If you're not feeling happy, you're feeling unhappy.
you're saying I should be okay to say that.
Yes.
There are definitely days I'll feel
Because
unhappy.
you're Angie and everything, but it doesn't mean that you cannot say that you're unhappy for moments in your life or even today.
Why is it harder for me to say today versus yeah, sure, I've been unhappy at moments in my
You
life.
see, but when you're saying the day, it's because
Currently.
you think you're showing weakness right now. So it's easy when you say like, yeah, I had rough times. I had. But
And I conquered it. I conquered it.
Yeah. But have the courage when you're like, right now I feel like shit.
How good are you at it?
Number right now.
Well, give me your number right now.
Right now,
Yes.
6 to 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
This morning.
This morning I was like 4.
Ah.
But I'm gonna get to 9.
Today?
Yeah. Why not? It's all in the mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On an
Is that-
average day.
On average day, I think I'm like 7.
Okay.
Average day, yeah, 7, 8.
That's
Yeah,
good. 7,
sometimes-
8 is good.
Yeah, on the average day. But yeah, there's days that she goes to 2.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then go to 6. and
What
then
sets you off? What could take you to a 2?
my mind asking myself too much. Asking myself too much. Asking myself. Looking around. Instead of looking inside. Looking around. That gets you confused. You know? So that's why that's one of the things that I want to share with people is like start looking around. Look inside of you. Once again. Easy
It's-
to say.
Easy to say. So hard, especially in this climate. Social media, everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's out loud. Everybody's in front. It's hard. It's hard.
Sometimes I want to get rid of. This is going to be a day that I'll be just out of social media for a couple of months, because I think that gives a lot of anxiety to people. Why? Because people see the perfect life, and everybody's trying to show the best, right?
The highlight reel.
Yeah, exactly. So they want popping champagne in a yacht, you know, in the car. It's great. That's great. I don't.
But
But
who
when you-
wants to post when you're at a 2?
I did it once.
You did it?
And I told you when I said that I was depressed.
You were at a 2.
I was below
Yeah.
10.
But did you post in that moment or
I
just
know
around
I
that?
posted in that moment. Well, you know what? I'm gonna talk about this. I was 10 below, you know, sub-0, sub-10, and I think that I'm the only artist that has made that on the Latino culture to be like, okay,
It's
I
okay.
feel like shit.
Especially Latino men. There's like a you
No,
have
there's
to,
a lot of a stigma about it.
you have to be
They want to be the macho man and everything's cool.
Yeah.
Everything's perfect. You can handle it.
No.
One day, this is a cool story before you kick me out.
I'm never gonna kick you out. You can
I
stay here
I was right here, close from here to here, and I was in a balcony. I just bought a new place, and I was with a dad and his son. His son was suffering from depression, and I was really concerned about him, and I understood what he was feeling. So his dad was saying, "You're weak, you're ungrateful, you don't value life." And I was like, "Listen, sir, I'm gonna tell you something. You know where we are right now, right? You love this penthouse. You think I'm weak? I made this coming from 0. You think I'm weak? Do you know my music? Have you ever been in Rome? Have you listened to my music in Rome?" He's like, "Yes." You think I'm weak? I suffer from the same thing that your son have. I'm not weak. It's just something that happens with us. It's a chemical disbalance. So don't ever tell your kid that he's weak, because I'm not weak either. It just shit happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm. You might have saved that kid's life.
Yes, he's way better now. He's taking his meds, and I think his dad learned a lot that day. Thank God I was there.
I got to imagine through the work that you've done and the amount you've shared and the amount of people that you've touched that you've probably saved a lot of lives.
I think a lot.
Do people tell you that often?
Yes, so many times. Yeah. Yes, so many times.
I mean, what a great legacy.
Yeah, that's
Even if it's just that, if you did nothing else. Ever in your whole
I
career.
mean, yeah, it is true. That's a human, really powerful statement to make people that they're not alone. And
You're amazing.
I've been in places that I start talking about it normally, like we were talking about soccer, about basketball. And from 10 in the table, 5 are like, okay, man, I feel the same. I've been through this. Who should I talk to? Because they start feeling like, okay, this guy that is J Balvin is talking about this with all these people here, and he's not scared to talk about it. Why should I be scared about talking about it? So they start opening. They're like, some of them start crying. I'm like, yo, it's okay. So that's why, speaking of my friend, when he saw like you showing your weakness, well, maybe that time when I showed my weakness, what I did was a superpower to connect to the people.
100%. It's one of yours.
Yeah.
Where do you see, what is older man J Balvin? Like, what do you see in your future?
Oof.
What does your future look like 10 years from now, 20 years from now?
20 years.
We'll go out with that.
I wish I could be kind of like a guru,
You're going to be like a Walter Mercado.
No, not like that. Not like that. But, like someone that has the balance to talk about. You got a lot of shit to talk. Because sometimes people think that spirituality and money doesn't get along. Right? Suppose that you have spirituality here, you should be here. It doesn't make sense, right? But the good thing is we're not talking about religion. Let's talk about spirituality. People are like, oh, he's spiritual, but why he has money? What's the problem with one and another?
Yes.
Right? So my dream is to be, which is never going to happen. The perfect balance is never going to happen. Of course, life always goes like this. But it's to be like a mogul, like in the spiritual way, and in the business and entrepreneur music to be like, I can help you in these both things.
And be successful at the same time.
At the same time. It's always going to be sometimes like this, like that, but have those two pillars really connected and show that you can be a good human, which I'm not saying I'm the best human in the world. I try to be a good person every day. And I try to learn every day. So that's how I see myself in 20 days. Like,
oh, I see it for you too.
Like a goat, be like, that's the Godfather on a positive way. Yeah, but like this, like, tell me, how can I help you? I gotta offer that you can't refuse, but in the good way, like.
Why I think you can do it?
Follow me in this path.
Not just because of your success, but because of your intention and because of your heart. I think that is absolutely attainable goal for you. To do both and to do it from a good place.
That's one of my dreams, honestly.
God bless you, baby. Thank you so much for today.
Angie. So grateful.
You are giving me green vibes right now. Is green a happy color?
Amazing.
Okay, good. Maybe it's money. Maybe it means the money.
That's great also. What?
You're giving me all those things.
Bring it in.